Hey, welcome back to Bang Bang Bourbon. I am your host, Tom Knighton, and my co host, my partner in crime against humanity, as always, Mike Piwowarski. Mike, how the hell are you other than tired?
Woo, baby. Talk about tired. I'm Vegas tired. That's how tired I am.
Right.
Uh, other
For
than
those you
that,
missed it,
yeah, other than that, doing good. Good. I apologize to everybody who couldn't be here last week. There was just no way to make this work from the remote location of Vegas.
right. In case you missed last week, Mike was at the SHOT Show. We're going to talk about that after a bit because that has been the big news in Second Amendment community. And it's in Vegas, so bourbon is definitely involved somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just own up to that.
Yep.
Bourbon flew freely somewhere.
Well,
Even if you're a teetotaler, someone else was drinking it on your behalf.
absolutely right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
It was definitely being poured. I don't know about freely because nothing in Vegas is free, but
liberally.
liberally. There you go. It was
We'll use
definitely
liberally instead.
liberally.
That way,
There you go.
that way that might come across a little better under the
That's true.
circumstance.
That's true. Yeah, I know.
About the only thing liberal about SHOT Show.
Yeah, that's a great part of it, right? It's the only liberal part. Yeah,
Well,
it's
I actually had a lot of fun watching anti-gunners go absolutely nuts over SHOT Show, and oh my god,
yeah,
it was like, guys, come on,
yeah.
you know,
It's fun. It's fun.
they're they're marketing death machines. Do you say that about the Detroit auto shows?
Yeah, right. You know, I did. I think the only time I've ever had any face to face with protesters, or even eye to face with them, was in Dallas a few years back at the NRA show. So probably going back 6-7 years.
Yeah, I remember when that was going on.
And there were three protesters. There were three. And they were across the street, and I was like, I came outside and I was like, look, protesters, and immediately crossed the street and went out and hung with them. They had like the dumbest signs in the world. They didn't make any sense. And I was like, can I get a picture with you? And I'm taking selfies with the three protesters, clearly all, decked out in tack gear and our shirts that we wear. And
Yeah,
I remember it uh, was a girl and two guys. One guy was by himself and the other was a girl and a guy. And the guy holding the sign with the girl, he was clearly not into it. And I was like, you're here because she made you come, didn't she? I was
you're
like,
here to get laid.
you got at least a 12 gauge in the garage at home, don't you? And just
Yeah,
gave this guy heck the whole time. So it was pretty
that
fun.
that safe that she's convinced was full of money
Yeah, yeah,
had like
exactly.
AR-15s
Yep.
or
That's it.
worse. He had class 3 shit.
Yeah, there you go.
He had class 3. He's like,
Yeah,
I'm here to, you
yeah.
know, maybe get something tonight.
That's it. That's it. Why when you see them doing something sketchy and there's a woman, you know why they're there.
Hmm.
Trying to try to get in there.
My mom dated a guy who went to college at UC Berkeley in
Ooh,
the 60s.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right. So you know what kind of environment that was. He
yeah.
went to all the anti-war protests and he was telling my mom about all this stuff. And mom was married to dad during the Vietnam War,
Yep.
you know, but she was definitely anti-war because she didn't want her husband going off and getting killed.
Sure, sure.
Um, it was funny because Jerry eventually confessed, like, yeah, I went there for the girls.
Yeah, and from what I understand, those guys they do pretty well. It's
I can't say that in my youth I wouldn't have done as much for the
oh,
same reason.
we all liked some music or something or some poetry that we all hated before just trying to get into a girl
Yeah,
or get her to
absolutely.
dig us. We all did it. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about something we don't do just for the girls.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's drink.
That's right. That we do to get away from the girls. Yeah.
This week, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Select. Yes, Mike has a brand new bottle. Mine has had a couple of drinks taken out of it. Now, before we get into this one, you got to understand if Mike and I may not have the same tasting notes on this for one very simple reason. This ain't the same whiskey.
True. Very
This
true.
came out
With the single barrels, you're correct. Yeah.
yeah. Mine came out of barrel number 23-03921.
Oh my God.
Wait,
No,
what?
not even close. Not even close.
Okay.
No.
Let's say, really?
It's-
Seriously? That'd have been awesome.
Mine
Oh.
is 23. So we're in the same year group, right?
Yeah.
Oh 08. Hold on, get more of this plastic off there. 08943, and the production date is 9/29 of 23 on mine.
Mine's April 17th, 2023.
Okay, so we got about a 5-month difference here.
5-month different place in the warehouse.
Yep.
And you wouldn't think that matters, but apparently it really does.
It does.
Where it is in the rec house.
Yeah.
How all that stuff can really change how the temperature hits it, humidity hits it, all that stuff. So even though the label looks the exact same, right? There is no difference in this label.
Nope.
It's not the same whiskey.
Nope. No, it's not until we get up. You guys can see up top there the dates and all the barrel numbers and all that nonsense there.
Right. And so it's the same recipe, so they should be close.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you set this down next to two bottles of this 6 months apart and a bottle of Jim Beam, you're going to tell which one's the Jim Beam, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. There's not going to be, shouldn't be that big a discrepancy. It is ultimately the same.
Yeah.
The white dog that's put in the barrel.
Yes.
That clear, high grade, high octane, whiskey.
Right.
Because at that point, it can't even be called Tennessee whiskey yet.
Right. Yeah. I mean, technically, it's in Tennessee, but it doesn't have the characteristics of a Tennessee whiskey. Yeah.
Right. Can't be called a bourbon. Can't be.
No, definitely. Yep.
You could bottle it and call it whiskey.
Yes.
Of course, if they bottle it, they're going to call it moonshine, charge a couple extra bucks.
That's right.
And pay tax on it, which makes it a lie.
Ain't no moonshine then.
If you're paying tax, it ain't shine, folks. Just
nope.
That is just how it is. So let's go ahead and pour some of this.
I'm trying to pull up the mash bill on this one. We're doing that.
And I'll be honest, part of the reason I got this bottle is that even if it didn't taste good, it's an interesting variation on the traditional Jack Daniel's bottle.
Yeah, and you know what? Hold on a second here. Let me grab something else while you're sitting there.
Okay. But yeah, it's for me. I wanted it kind of like the Blanton's decanter. Worst case scenario, it looks good behind me. But it, I've had this couple glasses of this, and it's actually pretty good.
So, I've got this. Now, this is the first one of these I own. Okay, I'm not a big Jack Daniel's guy. Nothing against Jack Daniel's. I'd be just a bourbon guy, and Jack Daniel's crosses the border, but I have a couple like those. I got a couple scotches. I got a couple of other whiskeys, but I got some Gentleman Jack up there and some bonded stuff. But I picked this up, and it's the same bottle. This is their white mash. They called it rye.
Okay.
And this was the first iteration to make this.
Okay.
And when they sampled it off the out of the distillery, they said, "Wow, that's good enough. We should be selling that." So, I mean, the old it's the old label, but you could see it like they marked out what it was, and
I like that too because it's clever marketing,
right? And this was going to be every year they were going to make this, have it come off, and it would be the predecessor to this, being aged several years later they pull it out. After the first year, they didn't do it anymore. They never did it again. So this is batch 1, year 1, and they never made it beyond that. And you could see the price. I actually paid, I think, $40 for it because I bought a bunch of them at once. When I realized the guy didn't know what he had, they're over $200-300 a piece now on the collector's market. So that one sits up there. I've never had it. I'm more. Listen, I'd rather watch the dollar signs go up than know what it tastes like. I have another
Fair.
friend who I know can't do that. So anytime I get a rare one and I want to taste it, I buy one for me. I make him pay for his, and then we drink his. So
There you go. There you go.
he's good for it
I like
every
it.
time. Every time he's good for it. He'll say, "I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it." I'll
He's
come
gonna
over,
do
and the
it.
first thing he says is, "You want to try some of that stuff?" Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I've had that before, and it's a average rye. It's not a maker's white. It's definitely above the PBR white, but
Well, from what you said about that stuff,
yeah, that
that
stuff's that stuff is the literal damn, I'm out of gas for the lawnmower. You know, what can I use to finish the yard? You know,
yeah,
there you go.
that's the I'm drinking this because I lost a bet.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So, yeah, but same bottle. You brought that up, and that's what brought me to it.
Mhm.
They used these bottles weren't even they had made these for that stuff, and they had made the labels for that stuff, and uh, so the bottles have actually undergone a change in the last year or two. Used to be a little more rounded on the top here, and now they're angled off.
Yeah.
But I'm ready. All right, I'm gonna open it up here. Let me give you my
Yep.
initial Jack Daniels. Right away, it's Jack Daniels. I smell.
Yeah.
It's got that sweet, nice balance of that Tennessee whiskey, the Tennessee.
Yeah. I'm not picking any alcohol smell off of it
No.
at all.
This is a what is this? This is a 94 proof.
94.
Yeah, yeah.
I get that corn sweetness.
Yep. Yeah, I think this. And I pulled the mash bill up on this. I
Mhm.
think this is 80% corn.
Oh yeah, that explains it.
I'll pull it back up again.
That explains it. And I'm not going to complain because
Let
corn
me
makes whiskey. Rain makes corn. Corn makes whiskey. Whiskey makes my baby feel a little frisky.
see.
Luke Bryan, do not sue me. You know my wife. Leave me alone. True story. My wife has actually performed on stage with Luke Bryan.
That's pretty cool.
He did high school theater.
Oh wow.
He was a drama kid.
I did high school theater.
I didn't because my high school didn't have theater.
I was one of those. I just did it to do it, and evidently was pretty good at it. But I used it more for work than anything else. Job stuff. You know. Let's see here. This is 80% corn. Hold on, I just lost it. I think it's 80% corn, 12% rye. Come on, where'd it go? So prepared here, aren't I?
So what? 8%.
I think it's wheat after that.
Wheat.
Let me see. On page 8. Yeah, 80% corn, 12% rye, 8% malt.
Malt. Okay.
New charred oak casks, aged over 4 years, four plus years over.
Okay.
Now, listen, except for where it's made, you know, this would qualify as a bourbon.
Mhm.
But I'll tell you what, and it's one of the, not that I have anything against Tennessee, but one of the things I like about Tennessee and I like about Jack Daniels is they recognize they are not Kentucky, and they do not put the name bourbon on their whiskeys. Now, regular Jack Daniel whiskey doesn't meet the same standard, but this does. This meets the standard for a bourbon, and they say right out, nope, we are Tennessee whiskeys, is what we are. Kentucky can have their bourbons. We got our Tennessee whiskeys.
And you know, Tennessee whiskey is defined by state law.
Yes.
There in Tennessee.
Yes.
Which really isn't binding anywhere else.
Yep.
You could theoretically make it in Georgia and call it Tennessee whiskey. You just can't label it that way in Tennessee. Right. But there's a certain gentleman's agreement that even if you can get away with it, you don't.
Yep.
Which is why even though some of the Japanese whiskeys are made exactly like Scotch, they're in similar environments.
Right.
For all practical purposes, they're Scotch, except they're not made in Scotland. They don't try to say it's Scotch.
Yep.
I respect it.
They should come up with a new word because you taste that and you're like, that's not whiskey, that's Scotch. There should be like like they got Tennessee whiskey. There should be Japanese Scotch, or at least Scotch or something like that. Just
or Scotch style.
Scotch style. There you go. You know what? I'm getting a little banana off of this. It is
Yeah, and that's I
Yeah.
get that, and I hear that a lot with people talking about Jack Daniels in general. That
Really?
it's
Okay.
just
Okay.
kind of that thing a lot of people pick up, and it's that probably a lot of that corn sweetness
Yes. Yeah.
with the malt kind of gives it that banana, you know.
Yeah. No, it's a delicious odor. It's
Yeah, and like I said,
yeah.
I've got my nose buried in this stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I can't even pick up the ethanol.
No, no, especially
No,
for a 94, you know?
right? It's I mean, yeah, 94 is not 120 proof. It's not
Right.
140 proof or anything
But
like that.
still,
But you
you
should
know,
still pick up a
you should
little
pick up
bit of it.
something. Right. 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 Right.
Yeah, and
Here we
I
go.
can't.
Have you tried it yet? Have you tried it yet?
Not today.
All right. All right. Here we go. Here we go.
Let's see.
Very smooth over the top. That's got that. It's got that little thicker sweetness, viscosity, like the sugary.
Yeah,
Um, Not as sweet as I thought it was going to be on initial taste, but
no, no
yeah,
mistaking this for a Buffalo Trace on the sweetness level
right, right.
at all.
Um, but it does have, and it's almost like that, almost like a banana flavor to it. You know, and I
Yeah,
didn't think I was going to
a
get that.
hint, not like overwhelming.
Yeah,
You're not sitting here going, "Holy crap! This I can make a
yeah,
banana split with this stuff or something."
right. No,
It's not like
this would
that.
be great over some ice cream. That's for damn sure.
Well, what isn't?
Right, right. No burn on the back end. So, well, that's because
I
of the
got a
low
little,
rye. That's because it's you know what I said, 12% rye.
yeah, I got a little bit of the alcohol burn.
Yeah, just a little, just a touch.
Not overwhelming, not like
Right.
where this. You get somebody who does like a shot of something and that
Yeah,
smooth. Yeah,
that's
no,
that's the best kind, in my opinion.
yeah,
Yeah,
I actually love watching people do that, and they're like
yeah,
smooth. I'm like,
yeah.
you don't know what smooth is, do you?
The kind where you pound the table for a moment and then you
Yeah,
finally come up and you could say smooth.
yeah. Except you can't really get enough air yet to
Yep.
actually make words, so it comes out like I'm like a frog crow. I love watching people do that. Because they can't just admit, you know what, that might be a little much for me.
The best one I've ever seen is Back to the Future 3 when Doc Brown comes into the bar with Marty and he finally actually has one real shot and he drinks it and does the boom, it just passes out. And he's down for like 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Which is just downright something to be ashamed of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I also get kind of a buttery in
Mm,
there.
mm.
Not a lot,
Good description.
but it's
Yeah.
and it's got when I kind of swirl it around the glass, it's got those legs where it kind of creeps up
Yep.
and then
Yep.
slowly that oily
Yep.
drips down. Which
Yeah.
gives it some thickness, some legs to it. I mean,
That's,
it's
I always
really
say it's got some viscosity to it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's
Creaminess, you know?
yeah, it is a very good, whiskey.
Yeah.
Um, it's and if people want to quibble about whether it's bourbon or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It meets the requirements.
Yeah.
Or
You can quibble. You'll be wrong, but you can quibble. It's okay. We'll let you.
well, the official legal definition of bourbon does not require it to be made in Tennessee, made in Kentucky.
The national, the federal law.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if
Um,
you go to Kentucky law,
well,
I think the Kentucky law says bourbon has to be made in Kentucky, and this is the standard it has to be made. And if it's made anywhere else, it's crap.
uh,
I think that's in the law.
maybe.
That's in the
Well,
law.
and it does. I do appreciate when they specify Kentucky bourbon
Yes. Yeah.
because, like, 13th Colony. This is Georgia.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Turns out they source it, but it's aged in Georgia.
It says bourbon whiskey on it though, as opposed
Yeah.
to Kentucky bourbon that says bourbon.
And it says Southern bourbon whiskey, so there's no doubt
Yeah.
that this is not the same thing.
Right.
And I'm like, if you're proud of your state, you're proud of where you're making your whiskey, slap it on the label.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Balcones, for example, pretty proud about being a Texas whiskey.
Right.
Hadn't tried it. Don't know if it's worth a damn, but they're proud of being from Texas. Of course, and again, I've never met anybody from Texas that's not proud as hell of being from Texas.
My friend I was telling you about that I can always buy a bottle for, and I know he's going to open it and share it. We had a discussion yesterday about one of the Texas-made bourbons. And they do like one bottle is bourbon, then they got whiskeys and blended whiskeys.
Mhm.
He said, man, it's like $150. It's supposed to be some special batch. Should I get it? And I said, bro, you know the rule. Is it bourbon or not? He goes, no, I'm not giving him that much money for something that's not bourbon.
Yeah, if we're gonna pay that kind of money for something that's not bourbon, it better
Yeah.
be like a very aged Irish
Oh, yeah. Or a scotch or
or a
something.
Scotch.
Yeah.
I haven't really delved too deep into scotches. The couple I've had 3. I dislike 2 of them.
Well, once you get a scotch that's the good flavor that you enjoy,
Mm.
they're good because of the lack of rye. It's smooth on the back end. It's very
Yeah.
even the whole way through.
Well, the other 2 were very peaty.
Yeah,
And
again,
that was a little much for me. I
you
didn't
just got to
really
find the one
like
you
that.
like. Listen, I
But
can tell you from Johnny Walker.
yeah,
A couple of those the premiums, the gold, and the blues are. Listen, if you didn't look at the labels, you'd have no idea that they were all Johnny Walkers. Completely different profiles.
Yeah.
One with the smoothness, one with the peatiness. It's amazing. Yeah.
I think the one I had, it was a Johnny Walker. I think it was gold.
The blue is a very peaty, and so is the green.
Yeah.
The gold and the premium in the middle are neither.
Yeah.
It's very smooth.
Yeah, it was the gold. I had that back in October.
Okay.
I was at a thing and someone brought that, and I was like, okay, that's the scotch I like.
Yes.
That's the pathway I need to explore when I'm ready.
Gold's my favorite of all the Johnny Walkers, and Gold's the mid range. If you got a bottle of $25 red and you go all the way up to a $200 bottle of blue, the Gold is the $60, $80 bottle right in the middle there. It's the best, in my opinion.
And that's kind of a sweet spot financially for me.
Yeah.
I found I was really proud when I first started finding a lot of good whiskeys in like the sub $30 range.
Yeah.
And there are some guys you could play there.
Oh yeah.
Exploring whiskey for years and never exhaust all the good stuff.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But I'm finding a lot of stuff in that around that $50 range.
Yeah.
The only bottle I've seen that's currently like over 100 that I want to get is from an Atlanta distillery. It's called Fiddler.
I just saw that today.
They have one in particular that is a commemorative whiskey.
Okay.
For University of Georgia, back-to-back national championships.
Go Dogs.
And the reason I want it is because my father passed away, a little over a year ago.
Right.
Huge Georgia Bulldogs fan.
Okay.
Lifelong Georgia Bulldogs fan. I got my, love of the dogs from him.
Yep.
And I kind of want to have a bottle on hand to open for his birthday and the day he passed.
Yeah, I'll go back. I'll see because I saw it today. I remember breezing through, looking at some stuff, and I'm like, no.
They've got several different
Okay.
versions. This one in particular, I saw one of my local liquor stores has it. I just haven't been able to justify pulling the trigger yet. I probably will because it was 2021 and 2022 national championships. There's not going to be that many bottles left.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
So I'll probably in the next few weeks go up there and get it.
Yep.
But it's
gotta talk yourself into it.
Yep. Yeah, and it's probably when I'm like, okay, I don't need to get a bottle for the show.
Yeah.
Because until we have sponsorships and all this money comes out of our pockets.
That's it. We're working on it.
Yeah, we're working there. It's coming.
Yeah.
But
Melody, you're gonna get a phone call from me, Melody. We'll be talking soon.
Absolutely. And so that's one I want to get just for my own purpose. That's one I don't think it's practical to have on the show.
Yeah.
Because unless it's a line they're going to keep going, and that one's a commemorative bottle
right
for that year. It doesn't make sense, but I want it for me.
Yeah, listen, for those that are out there shopping, watch those because you'll see them where the only thing different is the label. It's a commemorative bottle because of the label. The booze inside is the same as last year's and it's the same as next year's.
Yeah,
So if you're a Dogs fan, obviously you'd want to grab that one up, but don't be grabbing it thinking, oh, it's going to be more flavorful. And that's unless it says it's a different, it's a
right.
different kind of whiskey. They're the same. Makers does that. Makers does that at Christmas time. They
Mhm.
put out a Christmas label, and they also do one around the Kentucky Derby time. They do a Derby label.
Yeah, and so we've got that's something else. Okay, lost train of thought for a second. Something else someone might do is look at that and go, I will buy this because it's a collector's piece. I
Yes.
don't have to, I will just sit it on the shelf and it'll make
Yeah.
me all kinds of money.
Right. Right.
Again, if it's the same whiskey year after year, don't expect a huge appreciation.
Yeah. The only
Really.
appreciation that's going to go up is from the dog fans, right?
Right.
That's all it's going to go up. The bourbon fans, it's not going to go up.
And the intersection of the two
Yeah.
is where you'll find the
Yeah.
people interested in that.
Yep.
And I don't know there would ever be enough of an intersection
Right.
to make it worth your while for just that.
Yep. Makers does a military tribute label also. Now that I recall, so
Kind of want to get that one then.
that was kind of cool. You see it around the military bases mostly.
Okay, well,
Yep.
oddly enough, if I could get on the base here, we've got a Marine base here. If I could
Okay.
get on the base and find this, I'm sure there's a liquor store in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
But then again, it may not be anymore because there's not that many Marines left. Uh, it's all civilian now.
True.
But I'd love to have something like that around just because being a veteran,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's kind of cool. But it's still Makers.
It is. It is. It's all the same. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I've got, like I said, several of them that are just different labels, just to say, look, I got that one.
all right. So before we go on to talking about shot, we're gonna let Mike talk about shot a good bit. As you saw, I really splurged and got the old Jack Daniels number 7. Yeah, I've had this. I've drank it plenty. It for me, it's generally been relegated to cocktails. But
I tell you what, I won't. I don't do it with bourbon, but if you're going to look for something to mix, I don't know what it is about Jack Daniels. It's a really good mixing whiskey.
to the first the first cocktails I ever would order was either a rum and coke or a Jack and
Right.
Coke. I would go
Oh yeah,
generic on rum. I didn't care what it was. It was rum.
yeah.
I didn't care.
Cuba Libre. Yeah, yeah.
But a Jack and Coke. Now we're talking.
That's right. Right.
Um,
There's
eh,
whiskey and Coke, and then there's Jack and Coke. Look at you writing commercials right here.
yeah, it was. This is just what you get, right?
Yeah.
It took me years to realize you can actually order that with different whiskeys.
Yeah.
It's not illegal.
Yeah.
It's perfectly legal.
You
Yeah,
know
I'm-
what gets me is when I hear people do give me the Jack and Diet Coke. I'm like, wait, I only like half the sugar in this drink. You know that the liquor's full of sugar, right? Never mind.
Well, if you get used to drinking Diet Coke for whatever reason, regular Coke's taste is going to be off.
I guess so. That's a point. That's a good point. Good point.
I actually started recognizing there was a different whiskey because of Jameson and Diet Coke.
Oh yeah, JMO and Diet. No, I never did JMO and Diet. It was a JMO Ginger, JMO
Yeah.
Ginger guy, JMO Ginger Ale. Yep.
Well, there was this Irish pub here in town.
Right.
Made great food, and I would get Jameson and Diet Coke.
Right.
And one day it was hitting. It's like, holy shit, this is the best cocktail I've ever had
Right.
in my life, with the exception of the Long Island iced teas that probably almost killed me.
That's right. Long Island iced tea. Long Island.
Oh yeah, and then like the next one wasn't the same. I'm like, what? Well, it turned out they'd put 12-year-old Jameson
Oh, there you go.
in that with that Diet Coke, and
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, there's better than Jameson.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
when you don't know, you don't know.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you tell somebody Jack Daniels, this is what, if I send my wife to the store for Jack Daniels and she knows nothing else except I
Yeah.
just said Jack Daniels, she's coming home with this,
Yeah.
not this.
Yeah. You're getting the old number 7 is what you're getting. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, it's always been relegated to me as a cocktail drink. I am space limited on whiskey.
Yeah.
I have about 8 bottles we haven't done episodes on yet. So that's probably going to be our next 8 episodes,
There you go.
unless something weird happens. So I did not feel up to buying a whole bottle of Old Number 7. This was $3. It'll do what we need to do. And the rest can go in Coke.
There you go.
Yeah. Of course, this is really, really high class because you'd see by the cork.
There's not much left of this one, so I'm just gonna.
Okay. This is the lower end. This is the entry level Jack Daniels. Right. This has none of that ethanol. Probably a little more banana forward than the
Yes.
single barrel.
Yes.
Definitely, yeah, a lot of banana. I'm not really picking anything else up but the banana right now.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing for an 80 proof.
It's an everyday cocktail mixer. Yeah, everyday cocktail.
$15-$20. It's like, I don't know what the MSRP on it is. It's cheap.
They are a 750 is $20 to $25 down here.
Okay. Yeah. I was trying to remember.
And I don't think it's better than a Jim Beam, which is, $12 to $15. So it's a $10 cheaper. But,
right.
Yeah.
But there's no, like I said, there's not an ethanol smell, which you normally, a $20 whiskey, you expect to pick up some ethanol.
Yeah.
There, you would expect it, and it's not there.
Right.
So let's go ahead and take a taste and see what we got here. There's the ethanol.
There you go.
There it is. Obviously, it's a little rougher.
80% corn, 12% barley, and 8% rye. So only 1% different than the select here, but it's the aging process and the proof that's different.
Yeah. It's funny. The 80 proof is a little harsher than the 94.
Yeah, right.
But I'm gonna put a drop of water in here.
There you go.
Just to see, because it's done some interesting things the last few weeks. So
right, the water's the magic, folks. So you're learning that it opens it up. Either an ice cube or a little bit of water just opens it up, and bam.
Oh, that cut all that out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if y'all saw. It was literally a drop.
I'm doing the cap full. Maybe not even a cap full. Whoop.
And a whole different animal. Completely different animal.
And I'm doing this in the select, the barrel select, because I don't want to drop the water in my bottle. But even just looking at it, that cap full of water, that viscosity, those legs on the glass are diminished. It's not holding on like it normally would.
But the number 7 still had it.
Does it? Okay.
It still has the viscosity you're talking about. Those legs are still there. Ooh. And yeah, it's sliding a little more. Of course, I've got less water, so it's gonna look different.
Now, when you get back around to the select, I just put that little drop of water in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting it's almost a smokiness to it now. I'm getting that charred oak from it. The banana's weaker, and I'm getting the charred oak in it. Wow, I'm looking forward to this.
All right. A drop in the select.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I'm getting that smoke on it. See, it's still there, but not quite as much.
Well, again, I only put about a drop in here, so
That's what I put in mine. That's what I put
yeah.
in mine.
So it's like it's. I'm not losing much, but yeah,
Yep.
it's not as much. Damn, that guy's even smoother. Wow.
That is really smooth. Wow.
Mhm. It loses a little bit of the bolder flavors,
Yeah.
but especially if you're somebody where it's hitting you a little harsh.
Yeah.
Just hey guys, keep in mind, Mike and I may talk about something be smooth, and you could take a sip and go, "Oh my god, that is awful!
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is kicking my ass with the alcohol."
Yep.
Okay, it doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean you're a wimp. Everyone's palate's different. Everyone's palate's a little different,
True. Very true.
but try it with a little water in there too. If it's hitting you like that, and the great thing about water is you can keep adding it until the problem goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at a certain point, you're drinking a cocktail,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
but
Yep.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
I used to, after the Jameson 12 year, I started drinking Jameson 12 year neat
Right.
or on over whiskey stones or something like that.
Right.
And I got very snobbish about how certain whiskeys were to be prepared.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And it was like, if finally I just kind of realized, how does it matter?
Yeah.
You spend your money, you drink it however the hell you want it, man.
You know,
You know?
we go out and we get these. There's a place actually up in Atlanta we go to, the Red Door. It's a speakeasy, right? You got to have the secret password and handshake to get in there and stuff. A couple of them around Atlanta, and they're kind of famous for their old fashions, right? With that smoke flavor, the actual burnt smoke, the cherry, and all that, and I've had it, and I'm like, wow, that's really good, and it's so cocktail and not bourbon that you drink it a lot faster, to the point where I could drink those faster than the guy can make them. So it's like,
Yeah.
I never make them at home because I don't have the patience. I'm not spending, 20 minutes on a drink that's going to take me a minute to drink.
Yeah.
Just
And honestly, those cocktails that are you don't even taste the alcohol.
Yeah.
Those when I talked about the Long Island iced tea about to kill me.
Yeah.
That's how it almost did. I don't know how I got home that night. I really don't. I was at a bar.
Yeah.
And something, if you get a chance, and you're someplace, especially someplace new, you get to a bar early. Talk to the bartender. Just chill with them, be cool with them, and then let him know you're open to experimentation.
Oh, with alcohol.
Yes.
Alcohol. There we go. Okay.
I have had some amazing nights in bars.
Yeah.
With just by myself with a bartender who was like, "You're cool. I'm going to take care of you."
Yeah, let's try this. Yeah, they start doing yeah, exactly.
And this guy made the greatest Long Island iced tea I ever had.
Yeah.
It did not look like your typical Long Island iced tea because the Coke or the tea or whatever that you use for the color was very minimal.
Okay.
But it had a lot of the sour in there, so it was almost like drinking lemonade.
Nice.
But the high
Long Island Donald Palmer, yeah,
sort of, yeah. Except the glass was this much,
yeah,
and it was that much alcohol.
Yeah, right.
And so I drank like 5 of those in an hour.
Yeah,
and woke up the next morning with my mom telling me some really funny stories. Because after I got out of the Navy, moved home, and my mom's like, "Oh, you had a good time last night."
By the way,
apparently at one point,
you can wear those shoes anymore. Yeah.
Apparently at one point during the night, she got up and saw the back door was open. Looked out. I am spread out in a long lawn chair, and she's like, "Are you okay?" Damn, I'm drunk. She asked me about 15 questions, and the answer to all of them was, "Damn, I'm drunk."
I am not encouraging people to go outside, indoors, outdoors, and get blackout drunk.
No,
I
don't recommend it.
You've not experienced bourbon until you spent the night on the lawn. It's just
yeah. That was an interesting night. The next day was not good at all. But that's where you have to be a little cautious
Yep.
of those alcohols that an old fashioned that you don't even taste the alcohol in. Play it safe.
There you go.
I'd actually recommend drinking the old fashioned and then having like a Coke
Yes. There you go.
and then get another old fashioned because you're going to slow down on the Coke.
hmm
Um, and if you just guzzle the Coke, get another before going to it.
That's right. What did you pay for yours when you got it? I know yours is 5 or 6 months older than mine. What did you pay for it?
About 52, I think.
Wow. Okay, I thought I got robbed. I paid 39.
That's what it goes for here.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I've looked in 3 or 4 different stores and they're all around the same price.
Yep. So I got to say, I'm trying it. I've had it straight. Had it with the water. At 52, I'm out. At 39, I think I keep one on the shelf.
At 39, definitely keep one on the shelf.
Yeah.
I would actually buy another bottle of this again if I had the space.
Okay.
This is one of those that it's kind of like the Maker's 46 for me.
Right.
It's really good. And if I had a full bar area,
Right.
I'll keep this on the shelf. But
without
without that,
so we're going to have to get you a job at NASA because they got the space, baby. They got
yeah,
space.
exactly. Actually, I just need my oldest to get a full-time job and move out.
Oh, there you go. Or have them put a shelf up for you.
Well, when he moves out,
right,
we get to shift some stuff around, and I have more space, so I can put in an actual, bar area. Even got the piece picked out for the basis of the bar, and then some shelves on either side of it.
I know. Trust me, I've done a lot of work in here.
Might talk to you about that ice maker you've got in your office.
Oh yeah. Little red one in the back there. Yep.
Yeah. So have that around so I can I can do rocks.
Yep.
Have a little mini fridge off to the side so I can keep my whiskey stones in the freezer.
Got it.
I have no plans at all.
This was my I think I told you this is my. I'd planned on building a bar, and then COVID hit, and we got thrown out of our radio studios because it was an iHeart based station, and they weren't allowing anybody in the studios anymore. So I had to quickly come up with a home studio, and the bar became the home studio, and I finished it out.
Yep. And we met after COVID kind of flexed its whatever.
Yep. It's COVID muscles. I got the Wuhan, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I got one of those spam emails or spam text messages right about the time COVID was starting.
Yep.
It's like, do you want to put a wrap on your car for X number of dollars per month? And I'm like, I would rather lick doorknobs in Wuhan, China.
That's it. Yep.
And of course, when I replied to it, everybody got that. And so I got a bunch of people just laughing their ass off.
Nice.
They haven't bothered me again for some reason. I can't imagine why.
The Wuhan.
But speaking of things that don't bother me,
yep.
I didn't mind missing shot at all.
Oh.
No,
well, it's
I did really. I want to go at least once.
Yeah, have you been to the Vegas ones?
Nope, I haven't been to any.
Oh wow, okay.
For the record, Salem does not pay for me to travel because I'm considered a freelancer, so I'm usually not the guy they send.
Gotcha.
Which means I'd have to go on my own dime. Now,
right,
because of working with Bearing Arms, obviously I could get in.
Yeah, so there's your benefit there. You get your media pass, and that saves you, depending on organization, anywhere from $150 to $300. So you get your media badge. There are hotels out there you can come out and stay at the old Circus for $40 a night. You could do that.
Might have to do that one year.
It's you catch the flights, you out of Atlanta or Jacksonville, wherever you're coming out of, and it's a $300-400 trip. You could do Vegas out there for a week for under $1,000. Because you're just doing the show. The SHOT Show is it used to be Tuesday to Friday was the expo. The expo was open, and Monday was range day for media and sponsors of media sponsors. Um, Now they have Monday and Tuesday as the manufacturers showcase expo, and I call it the showcase showdown every time we go there.
Has to be done.
And that's like smaller booths upstairs, and there's probably still 300 or 400 of them up there that you could take 2 days walking through. And that's Monday, Tuesday. Sunday, as everybody gets to down, and they're in the booths putting everything up. So if you're part of this community, you are spending Sunday to Friday out there.
Mhm.
If you're anywhere with the displaying, I've seen other guys come out and do 2 days, turn around and go, but you don't see a tenth of what's there.
No.
They really take care of the media folks. We get a special room, and if you join as NSSF, you get the special NSSF media room. So everything's there for you: writing spaces, computers, terminals. It's all there. Quiet rooms. So they take care of the media. It's really good. We're set up on Radio Row. We're one of the 7 or 8 that get selected for that every year.
Mhm.
So we sit out there from usually 11 to 5. We
It's a
go
good
on
run.
we go on the floor for the first hour or two and look at the things we want and try and hustle up people we want on the show, as opposed to just everybody that we already pre-scheduled. But this is what I tell everybody: if you've been to any convention ever, anywhere, this is nothing like it. Right? And it's got
Right.
nothing to do with Vegas. I think it's the people. When you think of the backgrounds, you're talking about people that are either military backgrounds, first responder backgrounds, or a combination thereof.
Mhm.
So the show, the opens from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. is kind of like where you go to see the product and figure out who you want to talk to and set up a meeting with later. Well, everybody has dinner after the show. Then you meet up at 8 o'clock or so with the people you want to meet up with, and you're out till 3 a.m. And it's
Sounds
usually
about right.
it's usually 1 or 2 bars. Everybody's got a party going on, so go to these
course.
people's party, or the Arms Room Radio party, or the Lion Arms party, wherever it happens to be, and then from there you're off back to the Venetian Palazzo, back to the Circle Barbarians. That's what we call ourselves.
I like it.
And
I like it.
those are where the deals are made. I made another two good sponsorship deals this year at 2 o'clock in the morning at the Circle Bar.
Oh, nice. Nice.
But that's the roundabout. The day is to set up the meetings for the night, and the night's to do business.
Yeah. And for a lot of people, they see SHOT, they see the videos from SHOT, and
Yeah.
I've known tons of people like, oh man, I really want to go to SHOT. I wish I worked in the industry, because
Yeah.
this isn't a show just anyone can get to.
No.
You have to either be in the industry or go with somebody who is.
Yeah.
If you got a really close friend who's a gunsmith, talk him into it.
Yeah.
Pay for him to go. He'll get you in.
Yeah, or an FFL or something like that. You take
Right.
your employee, part-time employee. Yeah.
But for most people, SHOT is walking around to the booths, seeing all the new products.
Yeah.
Talking to people about those products, and it's a big gun show for them. For the media, it is a different animal entirely.
Yeah.
Because all that time when people are walking around, media folks are working
it, baby.
Um,
And you got to be careful, because a lot of the media folks, they're fanboys.
mhm.
Check it out. Look at my blog. I'm here with so and so. Isn't he awesome? Blah blah blah. As opposed to, hey, this is the newest from XYZ, and I'm going to show it to you right here, and we get the owner over to talk about what's new.
Yeah.
I want to have fun while I'm out there also, but I should never be the subject of my story, right?
No.
I'm the reporter, not the center of attention. I don't need to be the fanboy bouncing around everywhere.
If you want to promote your blog, have business cards made up.
There you go.
Just that's all you need to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so and so with such and such. Can I talk to you?
Yeah.
Hand them your business card. They'll check you out.
Yeah.
Or they'll lose your card, which is what I would
Yeah.
probably do, to be honest with you.
Yep.
But it's play it low key. If you have a blog or a YouTube channel or something like that, you're kind of getting going, you're big enough to get the media pass.
Yeah.
But you're not the household name.
Right.
Act like you've been there.
There you go. I just said that to somebody the other day. They got a first class trip back home, He was like, "Look at me, I'm in first class." I was like, "Bro, act like you've been there before."
Yeah.
Make
You know,
it look bad.
if you want to impress people, you're not going to impress them by look at me in first class.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, oh yeah, flew first class.
It's like every time Barry Sanders scored a touchdown,
Mhm.
went across the goal line, put the ball down, went back to the sidelines.
If he didn't hand it to a
Yep,
ref,
yep, exactly right. He'd acted like he'd been there before every
right?
time.
And at some point, the first time I get being excited because
Yeah,
it's shot.
yeah,
Shot's the show, man.
yeah.
All the cool stuff is there, and there was stuff that was shown. I wish
Yeah.
I'd gotten to play with. PSA's MP7 clone.
Ooh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I want.
It was good. I'll tell you what I
Except it's
saw this year.
5.7, and I don't pay for the ammo.
Yep. Yeah. The one gun I saw this year that was like, okay, that one's got my attention. I'm impressed. Was the Delta Delta Defense 9mm. It was incredible. Daniel Defense. I'm sorry, Daniel Defense 9mm.
Oh yeah, that's the one they bought from something with an H.
Ooh, I don't recall. I didn't get that backstory on it.
Apparently they had showed it out in 2017.
Okay.
I was reading about it earlier, and they had some QC issues.
Yeah.
And ended up shutting down.
Right.
And I think Daniel Defense basically bought the product from them.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Of course, Daniel Defense has their QC dialed in, so
yes. Yeah.
The past problems are not going to be an issue.
Right.
If you paid for the other, sorry. But if you like the ergos and everything else, just the QC was bad.
Yep.
Look at the Daniel Defense one. It's probably not going to be cheap.
Yeah.
Because it's Daniel Defense.
Yeah.
They are not High Point.
No. Glock is usually a pretty big deal there. They usually try to bring something else out new at the every
which looks like everything else Glock ever does.
Well, they'll bring out new guns, but it will be a new gun, and it'll be somehow different from the last one. It does look like every other Glock, which is why I love Glocks, because I could close my eyes, take them apart, put them back together. It's a Glock, Glock.
Well, look, they found something that works.
Yeah, right.
That design works for them. You look from the Gen 1 to the Gen 5, you can see the differences.
Yeah.
But the similarities are much bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
A Glock is a Glock is a Glock.
Yeah, they took two of their guns. I know one was the 10 mil. I think it was the model, what is that, the 20, 30, 33, 34? Anyway,
don't ask me to keep up with Glock's numbering scheme. That makes absolutely no sense.
Well, you know what it is? I can tell you how. I'll tell you how. Every time they build a new gun, it's just the next patent number in line. That's
right, which does not help me at all.
No, it does not. It does not. So you have the Glock has their 10 mil, and I think there was a 45. I can't recall.
Mm-hmm.
And the last generation they had been produced was in the third gen. So Glock now made them Gen 5 with an MOS cutout. Oh my goodness, they've reinvented the wheel over there. That's not a new gun, Glock. That's an update to it. That's a Gen. Say Gen 5 is now out.
Yeah. Like I said, I love my Glock 19.
Yeah.
I love it. It's I bought it because I knew I could trust it day in, day out.
Yeah.
It's big enough that I don't feel like I'm shooting a toy.
Yep.
Which is a lot of problem I have with a lot of concealed carry firearms.
Yeah.
But it's not lugging me down like my CZ75 was.
Right. Yeah.
That was my daily carry before that. It was a CZ75B.
I carry pretty hefty. I carry two backups, but one of them is the pocket gun. Is a pretty hefty double action DA45 by AMT. They're out of business now, but it's a all steel gun made for pockets, and it's six rounds of 45. And
I can do it
if I need to. I could beat somebody to death with this gun. It's all steel, and it's
fair.
It's fair. Great. Yeah. I can shoot somebody and then use it to signal for aircraft. It's shiny.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. If Glock really wants to blow minds, release a shiny gun.
Yeah. Yeah, or the Glock
releases,
revolver, or something that they talk about.
or even just like a 17 or a 19 in
Yeah,
stainless.
yeah, yeah. And we've
You'd
both
be
seen.
amazed. People would buy it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And not just the Glock fanboys, because there's a lot of people that look at that and go, that's kind of
Yeah.
sexy.
Yeah. It is.
Like, hey, good looking.
Yep.
Why don't you come over and visit my pants?
Yeah. 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 So
Yes.
everything else was
Outside of
good
the
out
gun
there.
community, that sounds dirty, but
Yeah. Everything else is good out there. I saw a couple of new gens of stuff, so that was really good. Seeing new gens. The not a like I said, not a huge voila. That's the greatest gun. It's a 40 millimeter or 40 plasma rifle, or a plasma
plasma
rifle.
rifle in the 40
40,
watt range.
yeah, nothing like that. Nothing super. Um, Now, if you've never been there before, everything is super.
Yeah.
I don't even think I walked around anywhere. I went to the 2 or 3 things I wanted to see, saw a couple sponsors, and then back to Radio Row. It's just like I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing with this traffic. Is what it is.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
And honestly, being on Radio Row, people will come to see you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that gives you a little bit of advantage. That's something as print media I don't get.
Right.
I wouldn't, if I had been there, I would have had to run all over the place to see people.
Yeah. No, and there were our friends in the print media. They knew about Radio Row, so they were using it to cut in and out of, to go. And you could see them on the march, and we were just like, be over here if you need us. So.
Yeah. See, while we're running all over the place, you get to sit.
That's true. If I had to stand for 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day doing radio, I might not be so chipper.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
fair.
I'm such a chipper person anyway.
Yeah. But all in all, a good time.
Yeah,
looks like.
Yeah,
and I've seen, like I said, I've seen some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing mind blowing, but
yeah.
Smith and Wesson's got the 1854 lever actions.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm a sucker for a lever action.
Yes, I've got a couple. Love my levers.
Got a couple. I've got a 3030 Marlin.
Yep.
That's it's a fine gun.
Yep.
But I do really want to get some stuff that is pistol caliber lever.
I love my 357 lever action. Because I feed 357 in it, 38 super, 38 short, 38 wad cutter. Anything you put in there, it just eats it alive.
And I've always thought that the pistol caliber carbine, and a pistol in the same caliber is really a must for any arsenal. Personally,
That's right.
And there is something with a certain amount of style about having a wheel gun, and a lever action.
Oh yeah,
you're not. First of all, you're gun control proof.
Yep.
Pretty much. I mean,
Yep.
There's people out there that'll freak out about a lever action if they could see how fast some people shoot it.
Yeah.
But they'd freak out about a revolver if they watched Jerry Miculek.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Of course, Jerry Miculek does not count as human.
He does not.
No, humans don't fire guns that fast.
Nope.
Yes, and for the record, this is jealousy talking. So Jerry, if you're hearing, don't take it personally. I just wish I was you.
That's right. Yeah. Listen, absolutely right. He's amazing.
I want to be Jerry Miculek when I grow up.
Yeah, listen, I want to be Jerry Miculek because I just want to meet his daughter. He's a shooter. That woman right there is a shooter too.
Yeah, the whole family is.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Yeah,
I've seen some video of his wife shooting, and I'm like, I mean, not to piss her off either.
Yeah, right.
Like the weakest shooter in that family will still kick most of our asses.
Oh yeah,
and I'm fine with that.
Yep,
they earned it. They've combination of hard work and talent, because you don't do one without the other and get that good.
That's it.
Talent won't do it on its own. Hard work can only go so far.
You're correct.
From what I've seen out of the Miculek clan, they got it all.
You are
and I'm jealous,
Oh yeah.
completely and totally jealous.
Yeah. Hold on a second here. Let's see. You saying you wouldn't want to meet Lena, the daughter?
Oh no, I definitely, I don't want to piss her off.
No, no, definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, because there's always a possibility of my wife seeing this, I would only like to meet her in a professional context.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's how I want to meet her in a
For
professional
the
context.
record,
Yeah. In
because
a
my
professional
wife,
context. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because
Definitely in a professional context. That's how
yeah,
I want to hear. Yeah.
because yeah, it's like the law requires me to answer no.
There you go. That's it.
Um,
That's
but
it.
yeah,
You know, if you're a cop, you have to tell us, right?
no, you don't. I actually believed that for a while, and then I was like, wait, then how do any drug busts ever happen?
Yep.
Are you a cop?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, police.
Yep.
You said you weren't a cop.
Yep.
I lied.
Yep. Yep.
Well,
Never buy drugs from a white guy with a goatee. And yeah, you're right. Your wife might be watching, so I'll leave it there. I'm not going to go anywhere.
she probably won't, but
Yeah.
um,
My wife's definitely not, so I know that. So yeah.
My wife is very supportive of these kind of endeavors.
Right.
So it's always possible she'll watch.
Yeah.
But she's not into guns, and while she does not mind bourbon,
Right.
she's definitely a cocktail gal.
All right.
She won't. She's not real big on straight.
Yeah.
But cocktails, oh yeah.
Yeah.
She is down for trying cocktail. I haven't found a cocktail she's not that interested in, unless there's just some ingredient she finds disgusting on its own.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
In
Some
fact,
women don't like that. They don't like the strawberry and the strawberry Boone's Farm. Yeah.
Boone's Farm.
Quality.
You know it's quality because when you unscrew the cap,
Oh,
that's how you know wine is good stuff.
Chateau Screw Top, sir. There you go.
Yeah, it's funny because I used to, really think that was the mark of class.
Yeah.
Until I got this one.
Yeah. Right. I know. Makers cheaping it up on us.
Yep. Still good stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's I think that's the only screw top I have left. No, I have Buffalo Trace. It's got screw top.
Is Buffalo? No, mine's a cork. Willits is a screw top, isn't it? Or Weller's. I'm sorry. Benchmarks are screw tops.
Yeah, my Weller's a screw top.
Okay. Mellow Corn, Fighting Cock, those are screw tops.
Buffalo Trace had a cork, but this one is a store pick, so it might not be representative.
Okay. We're gonna get there soon, folks. You're gonna get some Fighting Cock.
And I don't mind saying that that's a whiskey that sounds really dirty.
Well, I mean, you want a clean Fighting Cock. You don't want a dirty Fighting Cock.
But some would argue any fighting cock is dirty.
Well, I mean, you could fight dirty, but you could also fight clean.
With your cock.
What if you was a dirty Fighting Cock in the shower? Then it would be a clean Fighting Cock.
Oh, I've gotten dirty in the shower. Don't worry. You can't do both.
Just saying, Maybe, yeah, but if you're using some of that water from Camp Lejeune, then it would be a dirty fighting shower.
I'm not entirely sure I'm not entitled to some of that money for Camp Lejeune.
I'm entitled to the hearing aid one. Not the hearing aid one, the hearing protection device.
The 3M one.
Francis? Yeah, I use that. Yeah, the 3M.
Well, here's the funny thing: is the any money I get for the Camp Lejeune thing is not because of me. It's because of my mom. She was a Marine brat.
Oh, okay. So I don't know where
the
story's going. Yeah, okay, all right. Okay.
In Camp Lejeune.
Right.
My grandfather was a Marine first lieutenant. He Mustanged.
Okay.
And then when World War II wrapped up, they're like, he kept the rank for a while, and they're like, when they went, "Oh, you've never been to OCS, so yeah, we're going to drop you to warrant officer." And he went, "You know what? You can drop me to civilian."
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
So he went from a he went from a first lieutenant to a PFC, permanent freaking civilian.
Yeah, warrant officers now are different than they were back then. Warrant officers the best job in the military now.
It,
Yeah.
So I hear.
Yeah.
Finding one, they were rare to find back in
Oh
my day.
yeah. Yeah.
I actually served.
They weren't. See, that's the deal. They weren't rare to find. They just made themselves rare to find.
Yeah. We had at Portsmouth Naval Hospital,
Yep.
when I first got there, there was a warrant officer on the floor I was assigned. He had a 2-year RN degree.
Okay.
Which is how he was a warrant versus a full officer, despite being an RN.
Right.
Despite being nurse corps.
Right.
Which, that made perfect sense.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of friends of mine who are Army warrant officers. I find them on Facebook only.
Yeah.
Because they're warrant officers.
Yeah.
In fact, one of them was a captain.
Yep.
And took I don't want to call it a demotion because warrant officers are so different.
Well, there's a big difference because as warrants, you do your job. As an officer, you get promoted out of your job. You become an administrator. But as a warrant, you could do your job for the entire length of your career. I had when I took command last time of a headquarters company in a battalion. So I had all the staff and specialists in the headquarters company, and the battalion training NCO came to me and said, "Sir, can you see if you can get the warrant officers to come to the PT test tomorrow?" And I laughed. I was like, and he didn't laugh. I was like, "Oh, you're serious?" Yeah, no. There's no way to get a warrant. You can't make a warrant officer do what they don't want to do. You could go ask the battalion commander. I'm not getting in a fight between you and warrant officers. Not a chance.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. Yep. Every rank is abbreviated.
Yes.
So how is a warrant officer abbreviated in the Army?
WO1, CW2, CW3, CW4, CW5.
Yeah, the PT in that abbreviation stands for physical training.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yep.
It's kind of like the H in U.S. military stands for happiness.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah, it's like I never saw a warrant officer.
Nope.
In the Navy do PT.
Nope.
It was hilarious watching chiefs do PT.
Yeah.
Because for them, they had to be there.
Yeah.
But it was chiefs administering the PT test.
Right.
Navy chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not. You would watch them. This guy was 5'9", had to be at least 280.
Yeah.
None of it muscle.
Yep.
And he passed the height weight.
Yeah.
Really?
It's good to be the king.
Right?
Good to be
Navy, you get that anchor on your collar.
Yep.
I knew a chief petty officer who stood captain's mast in JP.
Yep.
What do y'all call it? Article 14 or something?
Article 15, yeah. Non-judicial punishment, yeah.
Yeah. Stood captain's mast for sexual harassment.
Okay.
2 years. 2 years after tailhook.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
Right? Stood captain's mast.
Yeah.
Got half month's pay and restriction to base for 2 months.
Yeah.
That's it. He had 6 women stand up to accuse him en masse. The admiral, this was an admiral handling it down, a 2-star.
Yeah.
Handing it down. Only one of the women was found untrustworthy.
Yeah.
And in fairness, I'm like, yeah, no one would sexually harass her.
Yeah.
They'd be afraid she'd take him up on it.
Everybody wants to be included, though.
Yeah. She was one of those, had to jump on it. The others, I knew most of them.
Right.
I knew most of the others, including one of his fellow instructors.
Yep.
And all he got was half month and restriction times 2.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting there going, they'd have put me out of the Navy.
Yeah. Yeah, I never served in a women unit with women before. I was always in a line unit. So
yeah.
couple
Uh,
schools here and there. That's about it.
Yeah, and this was a training. This was at a school.
Yeah.
Of course, when you get to any shore command,
Yeah.
especially back then, you were going to be co-ed.
Right.
I was in when they first started sending women out on warships. I remember it was the
Good for you, I guess. Right. Good for you.
I believe it was the John F. Kennedy.
It was the Kennedy. I remember it. Yep.
Kennedy going out.
Yep. My buddy was on it when it happened.
It came out. I was stationed at Norfolk.
Yep.
When it happened. They sent it out. First co-ed crew, first mixed crew.
Yep.
Came back in, and when everyone's coming back in, we start getting records for all the women needing prenatal vitamins.
Oh yeah.
I'm sitting here going, "You're 3 months pregnant after a 6-month cruise."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it happened at a port of call. Sure, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You're the
it
port
was
of call, honey. Yep.
And it was hilarious because when you would look them up, you could see in the computer to enter your stuff. You could also see their dependents.
Yeah.
Their husbands.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now one or two of them may well have flown over to meet him at port.
Right.
Because, hey, you're going to be at Rota, Spain.
Yeah.
When else are we going to get a chance to go to Spain?
Right.
Naples, Italy.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Freaking Italian food. That's enough reason to go right there.
That's right. Italian, baby.
But I seriously doubted all of them did that.
Listen, what a couple of women and 1,000 guys do on a 6-month cruise is their own business. It's.
Yeah, I was really. It was funny looking at some of these women too, because you're sitting here going, "Yeah, you liked it at sea."
Yeah.
Because on the dock going out, you're a 2.
Yeah.
Just before the dock coming back in, you're a 9.
Yep. And then there's the women, right? So. Yeah.
True. Well, it's what we say about submarines. 200 men goes down, 100 couples come up.
Well, that's it. And they love to be called submariners, by the way. Call them submariners when you see them.
Yeah, not submariners.
No.
They hate that.
No, submariners.
Submariners. Bubbleheads.
When they get back, you got to steer clear for a week till the smell goes away.
That's true.
Yep.
I could not have done subs, man. Oh, I need daylight too much.
Those guys told me they would come back and everything they owned, every piece of clothes, they would just throw away. It didn't matter if it was a uniform or whatever. Threw it away because you were never getting that smell out after being in a little tube with a bunch of dudes for 3 months at a time.
Well, to give people an idea,
it's just one big long can of methane.
Just a brief idea. You're in the car and you've got the air conditioner set to recycle.
Yeah.
And someone lets out one of those noxious Taco Bell farts.
Ugh.
Now imagine a couple hundred people ripping those
in that car with you. Yeah.
For 6 months.
Yeah. And they're sealed. There's no way for that air to slip out. It just gets more compressed inside. Yeah.
Right. You can't crack a window.
Yeah.
I mean, you could briefly.
You're gonna get wet though. Yeah.
You're never getting the window closed.
Yeah. Right.
It'll be the last thing you do.
Yep.
But for 6 months.
That's how we lost the Polish submarines, by the way.
The screen doors.
Yeah. And we lost the Polish Olympic ice hockey team during spring training.
Yes.
When the ice melted. Yep.
I love the Polish jokes. I grew up. My dad had a fellow cop who was Polish. And
so let me tell you this one.
Okay.
Guy walks into a bar, says to the bartender, "Hey, you want to hear a Polish joke?" And the bartender brings a bat out from under the bar. He goes, "Let me tell you something before you tell that Polish joke in here. I'm Polish." And you see them 2 cops over there having a drink during lunch. They're Polish. And you see them 2 weightlifters over there in the corner having their food. They're Polish. Now you think about it. You want to tell that joke in here? The guy goes, "Hell no, not if I have to explain it 5 times."
One of my favorites is the old standby. What does a Polish woman get on her wedding night? That's long and hard. A last name.
There you go.
We had a guy in my boot camp company named last name was Lewandowski.
Okay. Yep. Lewandowski. Yep. In fact,
and it's funny how
captain of the Polish national soccer team, by the way. Lewandowski.
For the record, every Polish guy comes with a built-in nickname.
Oh yeah.
Ski.
I'll tell you what. my entire almost 30 years in the military, I was never ski. Every time I got there, there was already a ski there. So I
Oh,
always had a different nickname. It was never a ski, never a ski.
see,
Uh,
that's hard.
did you hear about the Cessna airplane that crashed in the cemetery in Warsaw?
No,
Oh man, recovery efforts are underway, but so far they've recovered over 1,000 bodies.
that's a shame.
Yeah,
That's a shame.
yeah, yeah.
You know, it is funny because if you tell me like what's the one country in Europe that you think's the most American, I'm going to tell you Poland.
Poland's a pretty good place.
Yeah,
And, very, very, very. A little bit anti EU. They still have their own money. They've closed their borders to immigration. To uh, uh, Muslim immigration. Crime rate's wonderful there. The president and the prime minister are both very conservative. It's really a great country to go to.
yeah. Meanwhile, they're looking over at Russia, going, "Come on,
Yeah, yeah.
you really want to try it? Come on,
See what's in the woods now, huh?
come on,
Yeah,
bitch. We've been hanging with Finland.
yeah, yep, yep. Yeah,
How'd that work out for y'all? Like, yeah, we got invaded in 38.
Yep, yep.
You know, we're not going to let that happen again.
No, there's divisions of American Abrams tanks just hiding in the forest going, yeah, come on, come across.
They were watching the video from Ukraine and went, if a Bradley can do that to a T-90, what can we do?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Poland's one of those places I'll tease, but I'll visit.
Oh yeah. No. And I hear you. Yeah. Been there a couple of times. Yep. Great place.
It's on the list. It really is. And it's not a place I really intended to visit because, where my history interests are over Europe are not in Poland.
Yep.
I want to go there because of how the Polish people have struck me.
Yeah.
They're anti-commie, they're anti-fascism.
Oh,
they're real anti-fascists, not the only good fascism is our fascism.
They are so anti-Russia. It's unbelievable what they are. Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Yep.
I mean, well, then again, let's face it. They dealt with the Nazis. They dealt with communism.
Yeah.
They're like, we've had enough of both of those things.
Yeah. Yep.
We are not doing that shit again.
No, great place historically. I've got some great stories from there, and let's save them for another time because it'll take us another hour.
Yeah, and we've been at this for a while.
Yep.
So tell you what, let's talk about what we want to do next week because I think you recommended this one to me.
Which one's that? That's the double?
That's the double oak.
Crap, I don't know if I have any double left. Hold on. Well, I'll get some if I have to.
Didn't you recommend that to me?
I think I recommended the wheat.
Oh, the wheat. Yes.
The wheat, yeah.
I thought it was a double oak. That's why I got it.
That's all right. I can get it. It's a little bit up there in the pricier one. The other ones are in the $25, $30 range. That one's a little bit higher, but that's all right. We'll go there and just leave us more to do next time.
Yep. So, like I said, guys, next week we'll do the double oak.
Yep.
So grab you a bottle if you want to crack it open with us.
Yep.
If not, ain't the end of the world. You can watch us drink and shoot the crap about.
There you go.
God only knows what. It won't be SHOT Show because that's over now. Probably.
Man, listen, SHOT Show is getting ready for it for a week, then being there a week, and then coming back and taking a week off. It should be a 3-week event. I
have a longsword tournament I do in October, and it's just a week. It's just Saturday.
Yeah.
But I wore a Whoop band a couple years ago to the tournament.
Did you say Wu-Tang Clan? What'd you say?
Whoop band. It was a fitness tracker.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
And the score it gave me was the equivalent of having run a marathon.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I'm like, I could really use. That's one of those. I need the week before and the week after.
Yeah.
The problem is I'm a freelancer, so if I don't work, I don't eat.
I understand.
So
same here. Same.
But yeah, this was good. Gun. What gun would you compare this to?
Okay. Jack Daniels, quintessential American whiskey when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Little higher price than normal. I'm going to go with the Smith & Wesson Performance Center.
Okay.
Something out of the Smith and Wesson Performance Center is where I'm going to go.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I was thinking like a Wilson Combat 1911.
Same kind of thing.
Same
Yeah,
principle.
yeah,
Same
yep,
principle.
yeah, yep, yep,
Because the 1911 is a quintessential American firearm.
yep, yep.
Just ask the 1911 guys when they look at you, go, 2 world wars.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Reason I was thinking the revolver because when I think of whiskeys, I think of like a tombstone kind of thing, and wheel
Yeah,
guns.
nothing.
But I'll go with 1911 because you're talking 113 years old, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
You really when you think about the 1911 in relation to the the era the revolver first came up.
Yeah.
You know,
modern revolvers are, I mean, you're talking 80, 1870, 1880 when you started having modern style revolvers. But
Yeah.
I know they were break top, but they weren't old, black powder stuff each round, and
Yeah.
so you're only talking about 30 years prior.
Right. In fact, the Wild Bunch, I think, actually probably the latest dated Western
Yeah.
has 1911s.
Well, and look at the Nagant, the Nagant 1897.
Mhm.
Those were hard case. Pop them in. So
Yeah. And the Luger was 18.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was like 1899 or something.
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty late there.
I mean, so we're not off by much.
No.
Or conversely, if we want to go really quintessential American, a custom-made Kentucky rifle.
Yeah.
That's completely ridiculous. You don't need to spend that kind of money on one.
Yep.
But America.
You know what? That's what this is. This is a nice higher end lever action. That's what this is.
Henry.
It's a Henry. There you go.
A Henry. There we go.
Henry. Yep.
Especially with today, you can get a Marlin for a lot less than a Henry.
Yeah.
But it's not a Henry.
Yep. Nope.
So, there we go. Yeah, I think we dialed it in on that one. I like that.
Finished it out nice. There we go.
Nice. There we go.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, on that note, we are going to wrap up. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, if you sat through the whole thing, thank you, because this is long and we know that, and we love you for it. But hit the like and subscribe down below. Hit that notification when a new video. We try to put them out on Fridays, but sometimes it might drop a little late because this is not our full-time gig. We got to work around other stuff.
Got to make the donuts sometimes. Got to make the donuts.
But since next week we're doing double oak, tell you what, I've got a number of bottles, but a couple of months, but we need to know what you guys want to see. Yeah. If there's something you want to see us drink, and not because you think it'll be hilarious to watch our reaction.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Let us know. Let us know down in the comments. We are definitely going to be down with at least considering it.
Yep.
Not going to necessarily make a promise just because you say, hey, I want you to drink, whatever. Can't guarantee we're going to.
Right.
Availability is going to factor in. But let us know.
That's right.
And on that note, we will see you all next week.
Peace out.